One of the key aspects of Mission Preborn and their involvement in A Woman's Place is the fact that they've helped remind us to keep Christ at the center of our ministry, and that every day we strive to worship Him in our ministry and everything that we're involved in.
We were at a point where I knew we needed to grow, we needed to change some of the things we were doing, and weren't really sure about the specifics of how to go about that. And Preborn, Dan and Val came alongside us and just really gave us the tools and the resources necessary, but everything was couched in making sure that there was a foundation of prayer and that the gospel remained and even took a greater front seat in our ministry.
His services were so timely as to, I would say, actually save the life of our ministry at the time that he came on. Not only did that transition help us raise more funds locally, but Dan also helped me personally as I was transitioning into a national ministry that was going to broaden the entire scope of our mission.
I think primarily what Dan did for our ministry is light a fire within us to think outside of the box of how we had been functioning as a ministry, to think in terms of a question that he asked us that's so stuck in my mind and then in our board's mind is, what would God do in your region if money wasn't an issue? And so suddenly it was like the ceiling was off, and in our thinking we wanted to envision God's big scope of what he was capable of, knowing that money is not an issue to God.
We're also in a new office right next to an abortion clinic, which we weren't this time last year. And Dan and Mission Preborn has played a pivotal role in that.
We are strategically looking at areas where the clients that we want to see, targeting those areas where there are the highest number of vulnerability and at-risk clients, that 19 to 24 age range, as well as those that are the most probably abortion vulnerable, and looking at those communities. So specifically looking at colleges, universities, and other at-risk communities where abortion clinics are thriving, unfortunately.
We were growing in our mission, in our local ministry mission, serving the women in our community, helping save more babies by relocating our services from where they currently were positioned to right next door to the city's largest abortion facility. So Dan has helped us learn how to transition and take the gifts and skills and talents that we were presenting at a local level, and he has helped us learn how to broaden our territory and take what we had learned at that local level into the nations.
The whole attitude and focus on putting God first and foremost through prayer and sharing the gospel has impacted the staff by bringing greater unity, clarity of vision. It has impacted our numbers, obviously, in client visits, as well as numbers of those women, abortion-minded women coming through our doors, and those turning their life over to Christ, which is, that's the heart.
And suddenly with a new fire lit, it enabled us to think, wow, there is so much more that God is capable of and that God wants us to do. And so it was a fire that moved all throughout our ministry.
Mission Preborn has had a wonderful impact on A Woman's Place.
How I wonder what you are. Did you hear me?